Mr. Chairman, members of the PSC. My name is Pastor Eric Huseth. I'm pastor at Our Savior's Lutheran Church in Bonner, just up the Blackfoot on our way to Great Falls. And my wife, Abby, and my 9.5-month-old son, Soren. I do apologize for some of the noises. But I think it's important that we have Soren here today because he will be affected by this plan more than anybody else here. And I was elected by close to 100 people of faith across the state. Hardin, Billings, Missoula, to Bozeman, to Circle, Montana. In less than 24 hours, we put together this letter that I want to read from the people of faith here in Montana. Dear Commissioners, as members of the Public Service Commission, your stated mission is to ensure that Montana ratepayers have access to utility services that are affordable, reliable, and sustainable for the long term. In other words, you have a responsibility to protect Montana's energy consumers, not just today, but into the future. The biblical term for this kind of moral responsibility to protect people and resources over the long term is stewardship. Our message is simple. We are asking that you take your mission of stewardship seriously as you consider NorthWestern Energy's proposed resource procurement plan for the next 20 years. What does stewardship of our energy system mean? Stewardship means looking after the interests of all Montanans, especially the most vulnerable. Thousands of Montanans live on the edge of poverty and are struggling to make ends meet or are on fixed incomes. You have the responsibility to protect these folks from bearing the unnecessary burden of increased energy costs, which means avoiding the risks of long-term investment in expensive natural gas infrastructure and instead using smart, proven strategies to integrate more renewable power into our energy mix. Renewable power sources like winds are scalable and cheap. In fact, according to the Montana Consumer Council, the Judith Gap Wind Facility is currently the cheapest power plant for NorthWestern consumers. And when the South Peak Wind Plant came online, it will be even cheaper than Judith Gap, as we've heard before. You have the power to ensure the NorthWestern Energy Plan holds and adds more to this clean, inexpensive electricity resource to its portfolio. Stewardship also means taking the long view, making decisions today that ensure future generations like Soren have an even better quality of life than we do now. We know that the most recent science of this next decade is a critical window to reduce our carbon emissions and take steps to address climate change. Your actions can either accelerate Montana's transition to the energy system of the future that is already underway, or leave us vulnerable to the risks of the expensive and polluting technologies of the past. We are all too familiar with the terrible health impacts of choking smoke from the massive wildfires that are a symptom of warmer and drier conditions in the West. What will our children, like Soren, say, looking back on us, if we knowingly squander this opportunity to reduce carbon pollution and give them a healthier future? As public servants, you are responsible for stewardship of Montana's energy system and the citizens who have no other choice than to purchase their power from NorthWestern Energy. As people of faith, we urge you to use your power to build a future that includes clean, safe energy for all Montanans into the next generation and beyond. Sincerely, the undersigned.